control freak?
I think American women have very high expectations.
Yes, American women think they're entitled.
There's probably never been a better time to be a woman.
If you expect as a man, she's going to treat you like a king every day of your life, you're living in cloud cuckoo land, that's for sure.
This is an interesting topic. Never date an American woman. Lots of contentious stuff to get our heads around.
And we have Luke Powell, YouTuber, to thank for this. Now, I think it's fair to say that Luke's channel is quite adult themed and is aimed at men. So let's see what he has to say.
Hey, what's up YouTube? Back with your boy Luke. Hey guys, check this out. The title of today's video is Never Date an American Girl. American women are entitled. They're spoiled. They're selfish for the most part, okay? And this is because we groom them. You remember when you were in elementary school, let the girls go first. Hold the door open for the girl. But then when you started dating and you got older, it just got worse and worse and worse. The situation became, go pick her up, pay for all her dates, open the door, open the car door. Just never stops. Guys, and this entitlement stuff just gets worse and worse as they get older.
But it's nice as a woman to have the door opened for you and when you get out of the car, you know, I think that just shows a little bit of respect. So I think from that part, I don't think that's a problem. My issue is with him saying that American women think they're entitled.
Yes, that's a very interesting word. It's not something that someone's doing which is nice for you because they're good manners. It's something that should happen for them.
It's expected.
Yes, and I was trying to think about the American women that I met. I've lived here 7 years now in America. Mum's lived here longer.
I've lived here about 12 years.
Yeah, so we've been here a while. And just thinking about the women we've met, do they seem entitled? I think American women have very high expectations from life.
Probably more so than British women.
Probably more so than British women. They have high expectation, I think, of the people in their life, and they have high expectations of themselves.
Yes.
But I think that in pretty much every example, every American woman I can think of, they are grinding and hustling for that life. They're working very hard for it. Maybe in their career, maybe as a stay-at-home mum or a stay-at-home wife or whatever, in their own ways. But they are definitely putting in the hours.
Yeah, women over here work incredibly hard. I've not really met any woman that's actually lazy and feels she wants a man to totally look after her.
Yeah, I can't think of, and I mean this seriously, I can't think of a single American woman that I've met in person that I would describe as lazy.
And when I say an American girl, I mean a girl that's not westernized. The traditional girls of the past knew how to cook, right? These girls of today, they grew up on Hot Pockets and toaster strudels.
Well, firstly, we're not as smug now, are we? Because westernized girls doesn't just apply to American girls. It includes us two Brits.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're being dragged into this now too.
Yeah, well and truly. As countries become westernized, traditional roles do often go by the wayside because women have a more active role in the workplace. They have choices now, which they didn't before. I'm not saying it's wrong. Wonderful to be able to stay at home and look after your children. If the guy is working, I do understand your point of view. If you've got a really tough job, you've been working long hours and you come home, I'm not saying there should be a meal on the table and the wife dressed like a model and everything wonderful, because that's not true life. You know, the kids have probably been playing up and you're trying to work from home, looking after them and, you know, do a dozen things at once. But I think if one of you has less work to do, it is nice for you to provide the meal.
And if both partners are working, then both of them should be taking equal care of the house, and it's not just the woman's responsibility to make sure dinner's on the table and everything's clean.
We can't turn the clock back in the Western world, however much you might like it. Things have moved on for a reason.
I think there is a tendency to look at the past with a sense of nostalgia and think that things were better than they were, or to idealize the past. We were saying to each other last night, we're probably living in the best time ever to be a woman in terms of the choices that we have and the freedoms that we have. There's probably never been a better time to be a woman, and there's a lot to be grateful for, you know, for this particular time. Arguably, you know, there's never been a better time to be alive as a human, you know?
In the Western world, for sure.
You're totally getting taken advantage of, okay? I can tell you right now, guys, I'm not giving these girls a dime. Zero. I mean, gas is $5 a gallon now in California. I need to know if you're putting out before I come over.
It's a different perspective than I'm used to hearing when he's saying, guys, don't pay for her because they'll take advantage of you. My personal experience is so much like, don't let the guy pay for you, because then it puts you in a position of feeling
obliged,
yeah, or like you're indebted. Very often it's not going to be just that they're going to pay for you and they're not going to expect something in return, as he says. I think it's a bad foot to start the relationship on.
It is.
I've done this for you, now what are you going to do for me? It might be, you know, an expectation of further commitment, it might be an expectation of, you know, more dates or sex, or it might be, you know, other expectations.
Yeah, but when it starts off on that footing that you're paying and expecting something.
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling. That's why I think it's fair for the woman, or correct for the woman, to pay. Not because I'm necessarily against traditional roles, I think that's for each couple to figure out for themselves, but because it just puts you in this kind of awkward situation from the beginning. And obviously it's always wrong if you're feeling obliged to give anything sexual in the relationship that you're not comfortable giving.
You know, I was talking to another friend of mine the other day, and he brought up a very good point. He said, hey, you know what's funny, man? He was like, my wife, he said, I make the house note. She drives a brand new Denali that we bought a couple years ago. He pays for her aerobics. He pays for her health insurance. He pays money like crazy for this girl. Okay? Is she cooperative? No. Is she in shape and good looking? No. Is she nice to him? Most of the time, not. But the crazy thing is, he's spending thousands and thousands of dollars to facilitate her lifestyle. When, in all actuality, he can go down to Tijuana and he can spend $70 or $80 at the Chicago Club or at the Adelita Bar, and he will be treated better by that girl than he's actually treated by the wife, which he gave kids to, a home to, a family to, a retirement to, a 401k to, all that stuff.
If you expect as a man, she's going to treat you like a king every day of your life, give you a great time, have a great meal waiting for you, do everything just for you, you're living in cloud cuckoo land, that's for sure.
It's not today's world, is it? Because very often she's got her own things going on. She's got her own work, her own business, she's got her own ambitions and her own goals, aside from just supporting you and your career. If you're looking for long-term fulfillment, then a lot of people aren't going to find it with a sex worker.
That's not always the obvious solution, is it?
No.
There are other solutions.
Maybe if you just need a rebound.
Yeah, just a bit of a break.
Yeah. I don't think long term that is going to cut it for a lot of people.
No, and I don't think you could just tar women with the same brush to say all American or all westernized women are going to treat you like crap.
A guy's value goes up as he gets older. A female's value, unless she's got a career, not a job, a career. Unless she's got a career, her value is going down, generally speaking. Men age like fine wine. Women age like milk.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the aging thing.
Yeah, I thought you would. I thought you'd have something to say about that.
Society as a whole is really still against the older woman. It's so difficult being an older woman. There's so many magnificent older women that you can aspire to be.
Yeah, truly.
You know, Helen Mirren, Maggie Smith, Michelle Obama.
Thank goodness we have those role models, because for younger women it's important to see that just because you might be getting a few wrinkles or a patch or two of cellulite, or you know, maybe you're past baby producing age or whatever it is, that there is still value that you can add, you can still contribute, and you can still have a place and a say and a voice because of these women that are now in the spotlight. I hope we are on the verge of a shift. I think the shift has actually been happening for hundreds of years.
Yes.
Society has always loved to place an expiry date on women.
Yes.
And let's face it, a couple of hundred years ago, it was like 21. You know, if you weren't married by your early to middle 20s.
Yeah, you'd had it.
Yeah, because people go, oh, what's wrong with her? Why does no one want her? Even today, I think people like to say, oh, 28, too old, 35, too, whatever it is that people, wherever they see the cut-off point for a woman's value.
Yeah, and for a woman's value to be solely upon her money-making ability.
I think that's a very American perspective, is someone's worth and someone's identity being tied to their career. That's particularly American.
It is.
I do think men, especially when they get into their 50s and 60s, even though maybe to a lesser extent, they do start to experience a bit of this too.
Oh, absolutely.
And
yes.
you know, it's important that ageism, I think, is talked about and challenged. It's a lot harder even for men to find work as they get older.
Absolutely, you're completely right. And you know, a lot of men have been used to being the breadwinner and, you know, having a really good career. If it gets to the stage where they can't get another job,
or even they just retire.
Or they're not appreciated, you know, for their knowledge, then it's extremely hurtful and unfair and such a waste, because they've got so much, you know, older people have got so much to give. We have, really, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, just watch these YouTube videos. She's got so much to give.
So much to give. And I go, yeah, right.
These girls are way out of control. The entitlement is them being spoiled is absolutely crazy. That's why I don't date American girls, okay?
Control freak?
Yeah, I think that phrasing is quite telling of how he thinks women should be, whether he intended it to be or not.
Yes, I do too. I think that is very telling. That if you can't control your woman, you can't control the situation,
yeah,
get out. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And obviously relationships should go without saying, but relationships shouldn't be about control.
No, from either side.
No.
Well, we'll just finish by saying, be safe out there.
It's a scary world.
The scary world I know nothing about. We'll drop a link to Luke's channel and video in the description if you want to check him out. Please let us know your thoughts on the subject. Do you agree with us on some of the issues? Do you agree with Luke? Have you got other ideas? Please let us know.
Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give us a like and hit subscribe to follow us on YouTube.